Hello and welcome everyone to the BUSR Winter Series. This is Assetto Corsa. We are running Ginetta Super Cup GT4 cars. This is round one of the season, round one of the Winter Series, and I'm joined here by Ozzy. Hello, Ozzy.
Hi, Dan. Yeah, it's great to be back, and it's good for having me here for another series of ACC. Last year it was so great that you guys had me on for commentary. And I'm so glad to have been invited back. And what's more exciting is I don't know what the heck to expect in this race. So, race one, Oulton Park. Of course, you know this track better than I do because, there's not a whole ocean separating you from there.
Yeah, it's a 45-minute drive for me, whereas for you it's about an 8-hour flight, so it's a little bit of a different distance. But yeah, it's an amazing track in the heart of the Cheshire countryside. It's surrounded by trees and fields on all of the sides, but it's a lovely little idyllic racetrack. Some people call it the roller coaster kind of. It's got that sort of vibe of lots of changes of elevation. There's some very steep downhill braking zones, very steep upward acceleration zones. So yeah, it's a really great track. And if you're familiar with British touring cars or British GT, you'll know it from there. Otherwise, you probably won't have heard of it. So some of these drivers, they will have driven laps. It is in a Assetto Corsa competition, but it's in DLC only. So it's not even a base game track in that game. In Assetto Corsa, the original, it's not even seen at all. So it's a relatively new track for most of the people here, which I think is going to add an element of spice as to how much practice they could be bothered to do.
Yeah, and you brought up the fact that it's got like a roller coaster sort of feel to it. I guess the equivalent over here in America, specifically the Midwest, would be, are you familiar with Cedar Point?
I am, unfortunately, no. I have never heard of that circuit before.
Well, it's actually not a circuit. It's an amusement park, really big. It's in, I think, Huntsville, Ohio. I know it's in Ohio. I'm not exactly sure where the city was. Great place to go. But, here in Michigan, everyone always talks about, hey, you're going to go to Cedar Point during the summer. But yeah, no, I feel like it's going to have a bit of a Cedar Point feel to it. Hopefully not as many crashes. I'm not really going to get into the lore of that. But it's a circuit I have not seen before. And well, I can't really add much because I'm just so excited to see who we've got on here and what this track is going to bring us on this fine Monday evening.
Yeah, we're now going to head over to qualifying here at Oulton Park. It is a 2.7-mile circuit. There are 17 turns, quite a few of them in the 2 consecutive chicanes between Sector 2 and Sector 3 here, as we actually see one of the cars now coming up to the first chicane there. These are Ginetta GT4 cars, so we've run GT3 cars in the past. These are GT4 variant, these are the slightly slower ones, about 400 or so horsepower, 3.7 litre V6. They should be more controllable than their GT3 counterparts, more mechanical grip, less downforce, more approachable you might think. And there is Josh Woolley in his neon bright red liveried Ginetta coming around the shell corner here to start at the start of qualifying.
Of course, yeah, and Josh Woolley, fabulous guy. He's really nice. He's helped us out with some of the broadcasts, but it's interesting to see what he's going to bring here as a racer. A lot of other recognizable names, Adam Bent, James White, a pair who I believe they were also drivers in the spring series. I do remember James White had a race where I believe he was either like last place or DNF in qualifying. He managed to come back all the way to, it was either 4th place or it might have even been podium. But it was an incredible comeback to see from him. And we've also got some new names in here who I have not recognized, but I am sure as the race and as qualifying and the practice go on, we'll get to know what kind of drivers these racers are. And I believe we've got 2 separate classes, just like last time, student and alumni, I think.
Yeah, I think there might even be some open class cars in this category. It depends on who has signed up for this event. So I learned this earlier. You can tell a lovely bit of oversteer there from James White coming out of one of the hairpins along the chicanes. On the banner, you can just see the banner in the top corner of this car. There is a green, orange, or red line on that banner. That logo up there is the same for all the cars, but there will be a strip, and that colour will change depending on the class. We can't see it in this car. so I can't tell you much more about it. But on external shots, you will see banners that will depict the class winners. Of course, we'll have 3 classes: student classes for current university students, open class for non-university students, and alumni for recent graduates of a university. Here we go. We're starting to see some of the first laps come in, sort of looking around the 1 minute 40, mid 1 minute 40s now, but that lap time will drop considerably as the fastest drivers set to set their laps now, coming around the last corner. We have a pair of cars here, James White. We know him, we love him. Let's see what he can do over this next flying lap.
Yep, and I do notice, quite a nice, colorful livery on there. Kind of reminds me of the hat I'm wearing, one of the Crucial Catch things for NFL. But yeah, seeing him coming around the corner, switching now to Adam Bent in this all-white livery here. One of my favorite Welshmen who I've known. And yes, he's coming around one of the turns here, trying to orient myself with the track layout here as well. But I know for a fact it's gonna it'll come naturally in a bit. I'm also noticing we've got it looks like 3 people with the surname Hughes: Josh Hughes, Thomas Hughes, and Alex Hughes. I don't know if they're all siblings or what's the case with this.
Just going to make reading the names on the cars very difficult, I fear, because if their drivers have put their names in the rear windows, it'll all say Hughes, and we'll have absolutely no idea which one it is here.
Yeah,
obviously this is one of the Hughes now. Josh Hughes currently sitting in 4th with a 1 minute 40.3. He's coming around towards the Shell hairpin. This is a very, very banked hairpin corner that is very fun to do in real life, and very, very easy to have a monumental accident if you miss your braking point for and just go skidding off into the gravel there.
I feel like it'd definitely be a fun turn to go around in like a drifting sort of competition. You know, to build up all that speed and then just try and get that across the hairpin just in one skid. That would be so fun, I feel. But yes, currently Aiden Larson with the fastest time. From what I can see, it's 1 minute. Oh, and he's just improved with a 1:37.887. So, well, now speak of the devil with that. That was some impeccable timing. As we're switching cameras, it looks like Caleb Tate pitting, and we've got a little crash here involving Kessis. I'm not sure what the heck may have happened here. Switching back to Josh Hughes, he's got a 40.341. Yet another little server PB from my little layout here. Goodness gracious, I'm not doing as good as, man, it's like the expectations like we talked about earlier.
We've still got a whole 14 minutes of qualifying to go here. Josh Woolley's car there. He was telling me about his car earlier. He is very proud of the fact that it is neon glowing red, as he has a monumental accident at the corner where I said you're going to have a monumental accident, missed his braking point on the grass and instantly hit a wall, and he's straight back out there, obviously determined to prove that he can in fact drive around a corner. Here comes the number 42 car, just taking the second of the chicanes while they start pointing their way up the hill. This is James White. He's got a 1:39.7 so far as his best. He needs to improve on that and see if he can get any higher up, but that lap was an invalid one, hence why it's not showing on the timing screen. It's currently a 1:46.2 is his best clean lap here. Round Druids Corner, difficult double apex corner, then firing yourself down under Warwick Bridge there. You can see how much elevation change there is even just on that straight before on. The brakes into large, loses the rear end, keeps it on the track, runs it out wide onto the curb. That might be track limits, depends where the game puts the limits. In real life that would be an invalid lap, and as he's coming across the line now, we're going to see if that counts or not. Probably. We'll find out later on. He's coming back round now.
Could be the case where he's between 11th and 16th places. We're still having people joining in. Yep, there he is, 13th with, looks like there may have been an invalid lap, no improvement. But yes, no, unfortunate for his, I believe it's a GT4 I saw on the overlay. As we're now switching to Eric Einerson, 1:40.090, his current fastest lap, as he's coming around another turn here in the GT4. I believe that's around Britons, if I'm not mistaken.
That is Druids. Don't worry, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, like I said. Yes, but yeah, no, not a name I've seen from the spring session, but he does seem to be keeping composure around as he crosses the line. Will we see any improvement? I don't know if we will. taking a look here. I don't know. Has he crossed the line yet?
If he did, it was not an improvement there as Josh Woolley comes across the line to start his lap. Let's see if he can keep it on the road for all of the corners of this circuit. There is 17 of them technically, although some of them you wouldn't count because they're so minor you don't really notice them. Epic spin out from the car ahead off onto the grass there. That is a lap over for that poor guy. And as we see, a nice little train forming here. The track is full of cars. We've got 20 people in the lobby currently blasting around this wonderful, wonderful piece of totally unbiased racetrack here. Josh Woolley, can he get around the corner this time? Yes, he can. It's an improvement. He's made it all the way around Shell Corner. I know Josh personally, so I'm going to bully him ever so slightly on this broadcast. Here he goes, coming into the British chicane, taking the left, taking the right, trying to not get it wrong over the curves. You do have to munch them a little bit. Over the hilltop now, he's going to be flooring it to try and set at least some sort of representational lap time before we get to the halfway mark. On the brakes, down into the Hislop chicane. There we go, bouncing over the curbs again. You really need to be on a knife's edge with those curbs. Round the right-hander, up Knickerbrook. Now coming up towards the hill, under the famous bridge, over the top of the hill there. Now, it looks straight on, you know, you think it's a straight, it's really not a straight. You're kind of turning already now on the brakes, and then right, hitting the first apex at Druids, run it out wide, hit the second apex at Druids, and then power all the way down this. Definitely not flat, straight, coming up towards Lodge Corner on the brakes, his headlights glowing when he's on the brake pedal, around Lodge Corner, into the compression at Dearly, back out the top, underneath the start-finish giant. Here we go, Josh Woolley across the line to set his first representational lap time, and he goes third with a 1:39.3. That is his first representational lap time. Let's see if he can get down into the 37s.
Yeah, impressive for Josh Woolley considering the little spin out he had earlier, leapfrogging Archie O'Leary by about half a second to get into the provisional podium position. Also, a nice little separation at the top between the 1 and 2, Aiden Larson and Lorenzo Gualtieri, who are separated by about 1/10 of a second. And we live action here on Gualtieri as he is coming around another turn here. Got to keep it nice and, or no, that's a straightaway. Goodness gracious, I was fooled by the camera angle. Back under Warwick Bridge, getting towards Lodge Corner over here. Can he keep traction? It looks like he can. Coming into Deer Leap. Is he going to make any sort of improvement? Perhaps enough to leapfrog Aiden Larson for the best time. We'll see. And it looks like no, it's not going to be the case.
Yeah, he's going to just try another lap. We've got more than enough time here as our pole sitter comes across the line. Aiden Larson, just, I have no idea if he's on a fast lap or not, but he's come across the line now into turn 1, right on the ragged edge of control there, running it all the way onto the curve. That was pretty much perfect curve placement now as we go on board inside this Ginetta, cutting there right at Denton's, and then left for Cascades. It's a very, very fun corner to watch in real life and is equally as fun to drive in a video game or a sim. Here we go now. He's getting a lovely slipstream off the car ahead there. This is amazing. We've just got to make sure that he gets past that car at a safe and convenient point now, through Island Bend, left-hander, now into that shell hairpin. Maybe he got held up there, I'm not quite sure. It's definitely going to be a slightly compromised corner there as he puts the power down. Can he get up past this white car? No, he can't. That is lap over there. He's had to lift there because of the traffic ahead. That is the problem with this track. It is very thin. You're going to struggle to set a clean lap if there's a slower car ahead of you.
Meanwhile, a little spectator car over there, it looks like. Just watching the battle take place, one of our racers may have decided, or not decided, but may have gotten a little skid off there. I saw a little car perpendicular to the track, not sure who it was. A lot of white liveries here, and it's pretty hard to tell who is who, but we are seeing a little, we're starting to see, it looks like, if you'll notice, positions 3 through 10, all separated by 1.6 seconds about. That is a small window of time to fit 8 racers. Goodness gracious, as live action now. I'm not sure who that is. No, it's Thomas Hughes. He's coming through Warwick Bridge. A little bit of, I don't know if he was trying to warm up the tires there, but a little bit of wobbliness as he comes around Lodge Corner into Deer Leap. And oh goodness, that was Adam Bent, I think, hitting. Wonder what happened there.
Yeah, he definitely span out on the end of Old Hall. It's an easy enough thing to do. I think Old Hall turn 1 is going to be a a danger zone for overtakes, a danger zone especially on lap 1 as the car goes skidding off on the gravel behind. We're following Josh Hughes now, the man currently in 8th place with a 1:40.3 as he's coming up towards the line. Hauls on the brakes there, cuts it round. Be very careful not to put the power down too hard. There we go, held that. Lovely, coming across the brow of the hill towards the start-finish straight. To clock that lap time in now. We've got 7 minutes left of the session, and that is P6, now P7 for Josh Hughes there with a 1:40.001 there.
That is
and then
nice.
Kessus went slightly quicker to make my claim of him finishing 7th completely irrelevant almost instantly now with a 1:39.898 for Kessus in 6th.
That is incredible. And it's, as we look at Kessus, finally a livery I can tell apart from the other ones. But yeah, no, it's the separation, or the lack thereof, I should say, is looking pretty interesting. As we got a little bit of a skid out on that corner there. Goodness gracious. The commentator's curse is very, very real, folks.
Yeah, he's definitely looking that way now. There's a whole gaggle of cars coming around the last turn, including our 3rd qualifying placed driver, James White. There's a car spun up Deer Leap there again. Yeah, if you get the power down too much coming off of there, you are going to have a spin as James White comes across the line. Doesn't appear to be any improvement now as he starts another flying lap. We've still got 5 minutes 45 on the clock. There is more than enough time to see this lap time leaderboard get shaken up.
Even, and since we talked about the times, the 2:37 times from Larson and Gualtieri, it doesn't look like anyone has made a drastic improvement to threaten to take over that pole position, but you never know. I mean, as you said, there's still only 5 minutes left of qualifying, and that's plenty of time to see someone absolutely leapfrog one or even both of those 2 cars, as we're still looking on James White. Nice little pass around Shell's corner going into Britain's. Played that very well, it looks like, as he's going to come around towards, I think that's Hislops he's coming towards here.
Yep.
Well, he's handling that quite well. Who knows if it'll be an improvement on his time. I mean, he's already in 3rd place, so good position to be in, especially at this stage in qualifying. Following him again underneath Warwick Bridge. You've got a little side shot of Josh Woolley as well on my screen. He's about 0.3 of a second behind White, just outside of the podium position. As White coming around, is he gonna get the right amount on Lodge Corner? Looks like he is. He might have, looked a little bit shaky there. I'm not sure if that's going to be indicative of an improvement, but it looks like no. And as we, goodness gracious, action on Lorenzo Gualtieri. Oh my goodness gracious. So many things. Yeah, Lorenzo Gualtieri leapfrogging Aiden Larson to take pole. That's 1:37.800. And yeah, no, it looks like he's been, it looks like he was biding his time as, oh my goodness, the little text on that livery, I absolutely love that. Very nostalgic. As we had missed a crash from James White. I wonder what happened there.
Yeah, no idea what happened there. Here's Aiden Larson, the man currently in 2nd place, eating some curves up in his Ginetta there as he powers his way over Hilltop. He's now got to be thinking, where am I going to find another, well, it's not even a 10th really is. He's got to find 87% of a 10th in a 2 and a bit mile lap. He's got a lot of space to do it, but he's on the limit anyway, so he's running out on the curves there as much as he can, trying to maximise his speed up the hill there. You see, this is getting into the last little bit of qualifying now. We're probably going to get, you might get 2 laps in now if you time it well. You might only get, it's going to be close to how many laps you get, but we're definitely into the last couple of laps now.
Yep, and we got a new personal best here by Dog Neon as well on there, who's in 13th place. So well done, little shout out there. Still following on Aiden Larson. He's trying to come back around. I believe he's getting towards the start-finish line. Is there going to be any improvement? Because like you said, and there is improvement. Look at that. 1:37.537. And he added an extra, or rather took off a 0.2 of time there. No, actually 3.5 there. I guess he must have found something there. I mean, especially at this stage of qualifying where you're trying to find every sort of possible way to scratch off every last chunk of time. He managed to find it in there. I can imagine he might have pitted out of just the shock that he overtook Lorenzo again for pole. A little bit of a drift there from Josh Woolley, but he seems to recover just fine as qualifying is winding down, less than 2 minutes, so only enough time to finish a lap and then get started with another one. Who knows what kind of drama will take place in the last gasp for all of these racers. Woolley coming around that turn there. He's goodness gracious, you're going to hear a lot of this turn and that turn there. But Woolley is in the back half of the lap. He's looking to improve, maybe even take over James White for that third place position in that podium. Every last bit helps. He is getting towards the next turn here. I'm just gonna, I got no segue here. I'm just gonna change it back to you as we get towards the start finish line.
Here he goes across the line there, Woolley. He's went to the last one, near enough the last 1 minute of qualifying. So basically, every lap now that is started is a final lap of the session. You've got to think that lap from Aidan Larson is looking pretty high and dry there, but they're still going to be fighting behind. You can see that the top 7 cars are all under the 1 minute 40 barrier, with Josh Hughes a tiny gap off. Here we go, Lorenzo coming across the line. The man currently in second place sets a lap time, or starts a lap time. I have no idea, but he's coming around the first turn now anyway, so I'm guessing he's now starting a flying lap given the aggression with which he attacked that curb. James White in third place. Here he goes. This is going to be probably his final lap, unless he can sneak one more in. He's got 30 seconds left on the clock and 1 corner to go now. Coming down towards Lodge on the brakes, tipping it in. Will he be able to get up with Lorenzo and Aidan in first? Will he solidify his position in third? Let's have a look now. Comes up towards the line. James White in his Ginetta is going to set a lap time of the same. So he's going to try again. He's got one more attempt with 10 seconds on the clock. Managed to sneak in just one more lap now, as we see he is coming down towards turn 2 and then turn 3 straight away. A new session best by Eric Ennison puts him up to 4th place. Thomas Hughes is now coming up to the bridge on the start-finish straight in boxes. That is session over for Thomas.
Yep, and I just hope that that James White didn't expend all of the energy on that second to last lap trying to just beat the buzzer, because you get so focused on trying to ensure yourself that you have another lap that you might get caught up in the fact that, hey, I've got another lap. And Josh Woolley taking over third place in the podium with 1:38.611 as we say that. But yeah, no, the penultimate drama here as we follow Lorenzo Gualtieri. He only has to make up about 3/10 of a second to improve. Is he going to get it on this lap of aggression? Improvement, but not nearly enough to overtake Aidan Larson, who's going to be our provisional pole sitter.
Yeah, and there's nearly all of the qualifying laps done. Archie O'Leary in that Liverpool University liveried car there coming across the line. We saw him last time out in the Audis over summer. Now he's in a Ginetta on the grass. All sorts of chaos on that lap. That is his session over. And as most cars are now in the pit lane, we've got a couple of them still coming across the line now. Here we go, just to finish off qualifying. New personal best for Adam Bent there, 1:41.4, puts him somewhere between 10th and 17th, but we can't see quite where right now, and that's all right because we've got just, it appears to be one more car still running on circuit coming up towards the last corner, but that is the end, pretty much the end of qualifying, unless this is an absolute worldie from Charlie in P18. He's going to come across the line now. I think we're going to see that Ginetta rise. There it is. And that should be the improvement there. No, not an improvement. Never mind. That's the end of the session. Every car has now finished qualifying and we return to the pits.
Yep, and honestly, it was a nice little qualifying to start. Again, this is the first session of the season. We've got 2 races. And if you finish in last place, don't worry, because the second race, if you finished in last, you will be in pole position for the next one. I hope that doesn't encourage tanking, I will say.
So it's only the top 10. It's only the top 10. I must clarify, It's not last, because otherwise there would be people who would just sit at the back. It's 10. You do have to work a little bit to get that reverse grid pole. We saw this out over the summer series in the Audi TT Cup cars, and those reverse grid races were always incredibly fun to watch. You had cars that were quite quick, suddenly on pole position, and cars that were very quick suddenly in 10th place. And if they get a bad start, they could be down to 11th or 12th by the end of turn 1. So yeah, 2 races, 20 minutes each, and then plus 1 lap at the end. You cannot forget about that plus 1 lap. A last lap dive can happen on that plus 1 lap. So you've got to think as a driver, don't cross the line at 20 minutes, think I'm done now. You've got to stay focused for an extra lap, which is a lot. You know, it's a 1 minute 40 lap time, 1 minute 37 in qualifying. It's a lot of time. You've got to be careful about that.
Very true. You know, because you always have to think about, you know, you're thinking about 2 factors. And I feel like for some of these drivers as well, you know, you could have a driver who's, say, in 7th and, you know, there's 3 cars behind him. What if there's, you know, a sudden engine failure, wink, wink, that puts him back in 10th place? I mean, you could see some of the metagaming from some of these drivers. I do know a couple of them, but we'll see how it plays out. I feel like some sort of strategy, of course, is of the utmost importance whenever you're looking at any sort of race. But the fact that the results of this race will affect the results of the next race, as in it's not qualifying that's going to determine your starting position, but rather the results of the previous race, I feel like that's going to have some sort of like, it's like you're in the shoes of like a general manager trying to figure out like, okay, how can I determine a good draft position for next season if I can just cut my losses?
It's definitely something to be considered. Do you make that lunge for 9th if you're in 10th on the last lap? You might think, no, I'll bank the points for 10th and then I'll take the pole. Whereas if you're in 11th, you're going to be thinking, if I can make this overtake, that's pole position. I'm basically trying to overtake for pole. You score points, but you really want that pole position going into race 2 here, especially given how tight and narrow turn 1 is. It's not a wide track. You'd really struggle to go any more than 2 wide, and you've got to be thinking, if someone, you know, in 6th gets the start wrong, everyone behind that's going to have a problem. But if you've qualified on reverse grid pole, you're off scot-free down off into turn 2 and turn 3 before the crash is finished.
Yeah, and the thing is too, you also have to, you know, it's determining points in position. You're going to have to think to yourself, is this trade-off really worth it? Whereas if you're in 11th place and you are just battling out for 10th place, you've got nothing left to lose. You can just go as aggressive as you want to. And if you don't make pole position, well, you don't make pole position. But at the same time, if you've got nothing left to lose, the driver in 10th place has to be scared out of their britches.
Definitely. And another thing that we noticed, at least the last time this format was ran, is that it gives sort of the front runner cars, if they have a poor first lap, they might spin out, they might get involved in an incident, whether it's their fault or not, and they might finish race 1, or finish the first lap somewhere at the back. What that does is it gives them a target, because they will know, and all of these drivers will know, if I can get to 10th, I can get to the front. It's like a little teleportation. You skip out on having to overtake all the other cars in the middle. And if you're a rapid driver, you also know that your championship rivals, whether that's for a class win or for overall, are going to be at the front, who are then suddenly behind you. So if we see someone, you know, have a bit of a lock-up or an incident into turn 1, takes out a front runner, that front runner then has a target. They've got to get back up to P10 within the next 18 minutes, 19 minutes, however long they give themselves. And that really does affect how a driver acts.
I do think as well, it would have been hilarious when I was doing commentary for the spring series, because we had Ben Gilroy. I'm pretty sure he may have won. He won, like, at the very least, almost every race, if not every race. It would have been hilarious to watch him fight out from 10th place for every position. But knowing his skill, he would have probably made it back up to first place in the duration of those races.
There were some very impressive drives all across the summer series from our front runners. Even some of them are here now. Aidan Larson was right at the front all the way through the Audis, as was Josh Worley. They were both doing regular 10th to 2nd, 10th to 1st, 10th to 3rd kind of drives. So yeah, looking at things like that going forward is going to play on these drivers' minds.
It's going to play on the commentators' minds as well too, because when you don't have a clear front runner like we saw in the spring series with Ben Gilroy, every last race is going to have an unexpected result. And I'm hoping it's not the case this time around, me personally. But if one driver just sticks out from the rest and just bang on wins every race, good on them. Good on them.
As long as there's a fight behind them, I'm okay with that. If everyone's just driving around with a 3-second gap, this gets quite dull and we have to keep talking over nothing. What I really would like to see is some cracking battles, and given how close qualifying was, that seems likely. Don't go anywhere though, guys, because this race is going to be starting up reasonably soon. We've got 20 minutes, we've got 20 seconds before race start and 20 minutes of racing after that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. My prediction, I'm going to go for Aiden Larson. Just going to say that now as we cut to the circuit here. It is a standing start for these cars. 20 cars on the grid for a race. The clock down there. We've got the lights on now for the first round of the BUSR Winter Series, the Assetto Corsa competition. So Assetto Corsa is ready to go. The lights are on. It's lights out. We have a green flag at Oulton Park for round one. Good start from the front pair now. Aiden Larson holding, got ahead before turn one now as we come in through Old Hall. The pack working its way down through the first corner there. Everyone appears to be getting through reasonably. Aiden's off in the grass. That is the leader off in the grass. Keeps it on the road now, side by side with P2 through turns 2 and turn 3. James White there looking up the inside there. That is a good move. He can hold it. Aiden Larson leads out of turn 1. Josh Woolley is down to 4th. James White up to 3rd.
Yep, and I was going to say I was going to go for Lorenzo Gualtieri as the predicted winner, as we've still got the chaos of lap 1 going around. Action now between James White and Lorenzo Gualtieri as we shift back to Eric Anderson and Maris Dallas in the back half of the pack as well, as still a lot of congestion as you would expect from turn 1, especially in a track such as Oulton Park. Looking now, still got action. Aiden Larson still in the lead. Lorenzo Gualtieri holding a gap of, now it's 3/10. I was going to say 4/10, but now it is still a back and forth between every last position you could think of, even in the back half of the path. A brief look at Muhammad in the Ginetta G4 there. James White with still less than a second separating him and Lorenzo Gualtieri. The battle still raging on as we head towards the next turn here at Druids Corner, going under Warwick Bridge.
Yeah, everyone is now seems to be reasonably low and astern. The chaos has been dealt with. Aiden Larson leading from Lorenzo. That was a sketchy start from Aiden there, ran very wide on the grass coming out of turn 1. And James White tries to copy him just over the other side of the racetrack. Now that is one lap done of the race. Here we go. Everyone seems to have made it around reasonably okay. The field's starting to spread out. You see that front pack pull away. Here we go. Battle for 8th and 9th. Maris Dallas there, holding 8th place in that black car ahead of I can't read their name because my screen's too blurry, but they're there.
Looks like Ronzo Ribeiro, I believe, if that's like a Portuguese name, or Ronzo Ribeiro. But yeah, no, the biggest gap I'm seeing so far is between 7th and 8th, with Eric Anderson and Maris Dallas. About 2 seconds separating the two of them. Still action up at the front as Lorenzo Gualtieri is not letting up of Aiden Larson as they make around that turn 6 going into Britain's. A little bit, not sure if that's going to be, I don't think that's anywhere close to track limits, but yep, shifting towards that back end. Oh, little bit of some jostling there. See a 2 wide there at Britain's as they're coming over the hilltop. Those 3 cars involved over there. The shifting Alex Hughes, looks like Eric Anderson behind on Muhammad. The last of those 3 as they are coming around towards the Hill Water Tower.
Yeah, we've got a lovely little battle here for 8th, well, for 10th place and back there with Alex Hughes just holding off now. These gaps are so small at the front. That gap is a tiny gap. We're looking right now at the battle for 10th place. Remember, I think this is for points, so this is a battle that matters, and more importantly, this is a battle for reverse grid pole. Just as we were saying before the race, we look so clever now because they're having a really nice battle for 10th place. There seems to be moves behind for 11th here. Alex Hughes running very wide on the grass out of Lodge Corner, coming under the bridge there. They're going to have a compromised run all the way down into turn 1 here. As we see Eric Erickson having a little look up the inside, doesn't commit to it, stays in line. Not really the move they were looking for there, but I'm sure they'll have another chance further around the lap here. Alex Hughes holding off P10 quite well.
And meanwhile, we've got collision between Gualtieri and Larson. Gualtieri going off the track. I was going to bring up how they were going nearly side by side, but Oh my gosh, what an unfortunate crash as they're coming around the around Shell Oil's corner. Gualtieri now down to 4th, James White in 2nd, Josh Woolley in 3rd. Archie O'Leary still behind Gualtieri as well in the top 5. Goodness gracious, a big battle ending in a little drop back. I mean, we might see Gualtieri make the comeback as, again, there's still a quarter of an hour left in this race as he's gone side by side there as he overtakes Woolley, but now he's off track again. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, not a piece of smooth driving there from Lorenzo. There was fighting for 2nd, is now losing out to 5th, and he's going to drop further down as Archie O'Leary gets past. This is not the start we were expecting from our 2nd qualifying driver here. Side by side, Archie and Lorenzo coming down towards Lodge. We are on board with Lorenzo as he sticks it up the inside, makes it work, and then Josh Woolley just deciding to have a spin off there. We have Josh Woolley off into the barrier. That is a disappointing corner, and he's just not moving. He seems to be, there we go, he's got his car back in gear, is moving. He is now going to be thinking solely about that reverse grid pole. He is out of the points and out of contention for this podium, let alone the race win. Archie O'Leary holding 4th place now. He's having a relatively calm drive compared to the cars around him.
Yeah, no, and I was not expecting to be in the POV of that little crash of Josh Woolley. Archie O'Leary still battling for Lorenzo Gualtieri, who he's made the leap back up to 3rd place after that crash. He's still got 3 seconds behind James White, who is holding on to 2nd quite well after that little incident. Gualtieri now coming around the Britain's turns here. A little bit of a skid, I think, around turn 8 here. They're coming over the hilltop. As goodness, we lost sight of the points for a second. But oh goodness gracious, a little bit sketchy here. Goodness gracious, it's been such a chaotic first bit of this race for Lorenzo Gualtieri. He's gone off track like what 2-3 times already, and he was involved in collision as another off track we saw there. Was that, I don't know if that was Gualtieri again.
I don't think it was. I think it was Ronzo that went off track there coming up the hill. Yeah. Not a great race for the number 60, currently down in 8th place, hoping to make moves and just getting it wrong coming out of Knickerbrook corner now. This little group here is these. Oh, we've got another car off. That is someone. Careful, car's gone off at the Hislop chicane and coming through Knickerbrook. Now they're coming up the hill now, right at the back of the pack. This is not a good. This is chaos all over the place. As we see cars coming around turn 1 here. Ronzo behind Josh Hughes, ahead of Alex Hughes in a huge sandwich there in P8 as he comes down towards Cascades now. He's got me thinking, how can he recover from that off track? How can he get back past the Hughes ahead?
It's a double-decker Hughes sandwich because you've got Maris Dallas in between Thomas Hughes and Josh Hughes. So you've got 2 layers of filling in between there. As Josh Hughes in 5th place, just over a second behind Archie O'Leary in the fight for 4th place. It's still, you talked about the fact that there is still some chaos dispersing as we're taking a live look at Adam Bent currently in P12 in the fight for points and the reverse pole position as well. Looks like the chaos just has not dispersed fully yet. Still a little bit to go as we're watching him coming around the Britain's corners there. Live look at Caleb Tate in 16th place behind John B. As he goes off track, it looks like he's going to spin out into the wall there. Goodness gracious. Oh my
Absolute
God.
Carnage. Absolute carnage.
Is this normal for Oulton Park?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty normal. The last time the British GT came here in May, it was pretty much carnage. And the time before that, it was sopping with rain. We see another car get it loose out of Lodge corner there. That was Maris Dallas, who's trying to escape from the sandwich of Hughes and is actually let Josh Hughes catch right back up to him, who set his personal best lap on that one. He is really hunting Maris Dallas down now. The black car being chased by that red and white striped machine behind. They come down towards turn 2, the little kink right, and then before turn 3, the nice long curve there of Cascades. Joshua Hughes looking at the back of Maris Dallas is kind of thinking, I can get past that. Where am I going to make the move? Are they going to do it into Island Bend here? Probably not. That'd be very, very, very brave. Are they going to get close on the brakes into Shell? Hopefully so, for their sake. As we see now, is he going to make a move? No, he holds it, thinking maybe I can go on the street chicanes coming up here. Maris Dallas is going to be looking twitch for Maris Dallas ahead there. That is going to compromise hit their run all the way down to the British chicane now on the brakes and through.
Yeah, meanwhile, James White is down in 11th place. I wonder what happened there. He was up in second as far as like the beginning of the race after Lorenzo Gualtieri, who is back up in second place as well. James White in 11th. It looks like he's trying to catch up to Eric Einersen. 2.1 second gap there. Aiden Larson still in first place as well. He's held on to fastest lap. Gualtieri made the comeback after that initial crash, which is really good for him, as we're still looking at James White. I am not sure what may have happened. I think he may not have heeded the advice on the back of his car, which, by the way, that says don't panic. He may have panicked or he have gone off track of some kind. But looking around as they're coming across this this portion of the track here, looks like.
Here we go, coming into turn one. Lorenzo Rivera at the back of this pack of three now. He is also trying to get past Josh Hughes and Maris Dallas, trying to get himself out of the Hughes double-decker sandwich that is forming at the back of the point-scoring positions. And as we see, they're now coming towards Island Bend. Line astern, the double slipstream for the seventh place car there on screen now is going to be really helping them build up that massive speed before just a little lift off, maybe a little break if they've got too much speed before Shell cornering out. You're going to think Maris Dallas is going to start getting a little bit annoyed here. These cars just won't go away, but equally Josh Hughes is getting a little bit annoyed that Maris Dallas won't let him through. Lots of curb munching, very nearly contact there coming out of Britain's and up the hill. Not quite getting it. The slipstream very much ineffective. That car is trying to nom on the back of Maris Dallas there as we're coming on the brakes side by side. Doesn't commit to the move into the chicane here as we go. Well, yeah, we're well over halfway through the race now.
Yeah, sorry, I'm laughing at the whole curb munching little terminology there. Yeah, we're still looking at the back of Maris Dallas in the back half of the top five, as still seeing some separation. Aiden Larson has extended the lead, although now it's coming. Wait a minute, Lorenzo Gualtieri is starting to make up a little bit of position there. Maybe that was just one turn, but yes, we still got Larson, Gualtieri, and O'Leary as the podium. Speaking of O'Leary, a new personal best lap for him as he registers a 39.853. Still looking at this little three-way action as they're coming around. I believe that was the chicane of Shell Oil's corner as they're coming around towards Britain's. I think I might have gotten my places mixed up. No, that's not. Yeah,
no, this is Cascades corner now as we see Josh Hughes still thinking very hard about car ahead and car behind. As we all know in racing, he is in the nightmare position right now. He's got a car ahead he needs to get past and a car behind he needs to not get overtaken by. This man, Aiden Larson, he is loving life. He is clear by a decent margin, and hopefully he just needs to set reasonably good lap times for the next 7 minutes and 20 seconds now. He's got some back markers ahead, but they will get out of the way to let him pass. The flying Aussie is absolutely loving life right now with that monster gap behind. He is coming up now. He's basically been incident free. Apart from a little touch with Lorenzo early on, he has stayed off of our broadcast and therefore out of trouble. We see some back markers ahead of having a little bit of a fight. They should let Aiden by and then they can resume their battle for position. Here he goes, coming around the last corner. One of the back markers has gone off in front of him. That's going to compromise their run and make them easy pickings for our race leader.
Yeah, and speaking of which, it looks like he has set a fastest lap. It looks like that little flash of purple on screen there. And yeah, I mean, you have to think, is there going to be any sort of like jam with some of the back markers as well, as he's 8 laps now on that tire age as well, as he is coming around here. I mean, I would hope that the back markers, if there's any sort of like fighting between those cars, that it'll be an easy passerby. Looking back now to Josh Hughes, still in nightmare position. He's gone side by side now with Maris Dallas as they're coming around. Is he passed? Is he going to make a move? Not sure, but it's getting close. Still side by side coming around towards Cascades Corner. It is a massive battle here for 4th place on the right side, and it looks like the move will not work out, at least for now. Still at the back end of Maris Dallas for 5th place here. They're coming around the chicane of Shell Oil's corner. Renzo Ribera still on the back of this pack. This is still a nightmare sandwich here for Josh Hughes. They come around Britons towards the hilltop. It is unbelievable how Josh Hughes is keeping composure. Went side by side at one point with Maris Dallas. They're coming around high slops and towards Knickerbrook. Goodness gracious, you would have to be sweating bullets in this situation. A car behind, a car in front, and the gap is just non-existent at this point. Coming around Clay Hill, he is still behind Maris Dallas. Is there going to be an aggressive move here? It looks like for the time being, no, but Josh Hughes could still be biding time as if he's got any choice, with Renzo Ribera still on the back end of this three-way, and a little bit of contact as both cars go off track. Renzo Ribera gets away with it unscathed. Looked like corner-to-corner contact took both Josh Hughes and Maris Dallas out. Oh my goodness gracious, what an eventful lap as Renzo Ribera is just going to coast into the top 5. What a lucky duck.
Yeah, that is obviously a common place for contact here. Josh Woolley has rejoined the session. He is 5 laps down. I heard that he slightly injured his thumb during that big crash he had at this exact corner. Now he's just rejoining just for the fun of it now, really, just to make sure he's all okay, make sure the car is driving how he wants it to, just enjoying life. Now he's 5 laps down. I highly doubt he will catch up in 4 minutes. We've seen stranger things, but equally maths isn't quite mathing there, as one of the cars up ahead just decides to go straight onto the grass. No idea who that is, but not the optimal racing line here. Really unfortunate from Josh Woolley. That's Adam Bent, actually. That is the series organizer and one of my technical bosses going off there. Probably shouldn't have said that. Never mind. Here we are, the Welshman, just keeping it on the road. Just about, as he's got Josh Woolley behind him.
Keep it on the road, mate.
Oh, he's also got off again. This is not good from Adam. He's not. This is a really not an optimal lap from Adam.
Adam and Josh, what are you doing, you two? Oh my God, they think it's bad now. I'm gonna give them a lot of razzing for it after the race is over. They both know as much as you just gotta keep it on the track, mate. Come on. It's coming over the hilltop here. As we're taking a look at the standings as well here. Do we have any battles? It looks like Muhammad is about half a second behind Alex Hughes as well in that green livery, coming around the turn here, going into the avenue. Or no, that might be
not finished straight here from Muhammad. Yeah, James White is also scared of the car. He's also trying to get past the car ahead of Eric Enerson, as this is for reverse grid pole. He evidently, all we were saying earlier about maybe they'll stick for the pole position rather than the points is basically gone out the window here. James White can see a car ahead, therefore James White wants to get past the car ahead. He does not care that this is reverse grid pole. He is a racing driver. He will see there is a car ahead and that needs solving. He needs to get past that car, and this lovely little train we've got forming here behind. I believe it's...
And if you know that you can overtake the driver who is behind you in 10th place in the next race, honestly, it's a win-win. You get the points and you get a driver who you can overtake in the next race, as he's behind Eric Anderson there as well. It looks like Muhammad gained a place in that train of 5. Leading it is Josh Hughes, behind him Alex Hughes, Muhammad, Eric Anderson, James White. Are we going to see a little move as they're coming around high slops into Knickerbrook? Little bit of a bump there, I think, but it's still my goodness, locomotion at its finest around here. A pair of the Don't Panic cars, I think, coming nearly in contact with one another, as the gaps in the scoreboard just mere tenths of seconds as they're coming around this next turn, around Druids Corner into Warwick Bridge. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, nose to tail with just 1.5 minutes to go. You've got to be thinking this is getting very close to the end of the time. The car's off ahead. Carnage Muhammad spins out of Lodge corner, crashes straight into James White. That is another incident that car has been part of. That was also very messy driving there. That was a lot of cars in a very small area of space. James White now up into 9th place on the timing sheet, but not the way you want to do it. You do not want to gain positions because the car ahead of you just decides to park it sideways coming out of the final turn there. Absolute carnage behind. Maris Dallas now in 10th place, that reverse grid pole, but they are not going to be happy with what has occurred now. Alex Hughes and Josh Hughes running away. Eric Anderson has got to be thinking, phew, I've got rid of them, they're gone now. James White is now thinking, right, I've got a 4-second gap. Can I make a 4-second gap up in 2 or 3 laps? Probably not. So maybe I just relax a bit and take the points. Who knows? It's James White. We've seen him do crazier things.
We have, exactly. And to quote a wise man after that incident, you can't park that there, mate. As we're coming around Britain's, we've got Alex Hughes with Josh Hughes in front, and I think that's Eric Anderson behind him as they're coming over the hilltop into high slopes. It is just, oh well, goodness great. Was that Renzo that went off track there? I think that might have been. Yeah, Renzo, or no, that was Caleb Tate. Sorry. Yeah, no, it's I think they have the same livery as well, so it's a little confusing. But yes, action back into Clay Hill and Water Tower as we have a look at Eric Anderson still at the back of Josh and Alex Hughes, who are coming through into Druids Corner and Warwick Bridge. And another, oh goodness gracious, Eric Anderson now off track as well. We're in overtime and yet we're still having all this chaos. At this point, do we even, who knows, Aiden Larson might not even be in first place by the time this race finishes. Pardon my commentator's curse.
Yeah, absolute chaos all around here. This is evidently showing you just how difficult this track is. If you've had a look at the calendar, you'll see there are bigger, more conventionally sized racetracks further down, but this one is very much a narrow driver circuit here. We see side by side, just a little nose ahead there, Eric Eriksson is just fighting off James White, who is right behind him in that 42 car with a lovely purple yellow stripe coming into Shell Corner. James White, he has had a rough race today. He's been involved in multiple incidents, but he's just thinking, I want more points, I want more points, I want more points. And Eric Anderson is going, how do I stop him from getting more points? Coming up towards Britain's left, hit the curb, turning right, hit the second curb, run over the imaginary bollards as we come now up over Hilltop and down into the heavy braking zone for the Hislop chicane. They're braking at about the 90-metre board, which is just after the 100-metre board because there isn't a 90-metre board. And here we go, right behind him. Leader is on the final lap now. These guys have still got 1 lap and a little bit to go. James White just cutting some grass there, not quite losing control, but keeping it on the track, nearly side by side coming up the hill. Both cars having a slightly compromised entrant, like an exit off the corner on their way down to Druids. James White is still trying to get past this car. He has not managed to make the move that he needs to make now for those bonus points. They come under Warwick Bridge. This is their set. They've only got to take this corner 2 more times now before the race ends.
Yep, and it's a valuable experience as well for learning what can I do to overtake this specific driver, as well as it looks like. Goodness, I thought something happened there. Guess it was a nothing burger. As they're coming around turn 1, the Old Hall corner into the avenue, and oh my goodness gracious, James White. Can he recover this? Oh, it looks like he can't. Oh my God. How unfortunate. I mean, he's in 10th place now, which is good for future race because now he'll be in the pole. But oh my gosh, you can't help but think, what if on that one, as Maris Dallas now into a 9th place. I knowing James, he's probably a little bit PO'd after that. But yes, looking back, Aiden Larson now into the start-finish line. He is going to be the winner of this first race. He will start in 10th place in the next race. Started 15th in quali, it looks like. I
don't think he did. I think he did start right at the front. So that is a front row pole position conversion to race win. Lorenzo recovers up to a very impressive 2nd place as we see the rest of the cars start to come across the line. Archie O'Leary now should be coming across in 3rd place. The timing screen just having a little bit of an issue because of the lapped cars. Archie O'Leary will take the final podium spot now of race 1. There is your podium: Aidan Larson, Lorenzo Gutierrez and Archie O'Leary, with Thomas Hughes taking 4th place in that plain white car, the first of the 3 Hughes cars, followed by Renzo Ribeiro, who just seemed to avoid all of the problems in the latter half of the race to come through. Josh Hughes takes 6th place to create the first of the Hughes sandwiches. Now battle over the line for the next positions here, as James White is right behind Maris Dallas there. James White taking 8th, Maris Dallas taking 7th place, I think. So reverse grid pole appears to not have been decided yet, with some lapped cars still filtering through there. We see the rest of the finishers coming across the line now. Cars returning to the pit lane, of course. The timing sheet having a little bit of a fart. Mohammed in the Tesco car coming across the line next to seal their finishing position. That is the end of race 1, which was definitely chaos filled, and that's without reverse grid. So I'm looking forward to what we see next.
Oh my goodness gracious. And the amount of close encounters that we saw between cars, especially back half of the race and back half of the top 10 as well. Not to mention the collision with Larson and Gualtieri, who Gualtieri managed to recover quite well. He didn't even lose a place in the long run, but I feel like he definitely could have made a chance for first place of Aidan Larson had that incident not happened. Would have been a nice battle to see throughout that race, as all these cars are pitting as well. It looks like for the time being it is Larson, Gualtieri, Leary, Thomas Hughes, Ribeiro, Josh Hughes, Maris Dallas, James White, Kessis, and Mohammed rounding out the top 10 and our reverse positions for next race. Oh my lordy. Well, that was certainly one of the races of all time, and we've still got one more to go in this session.
We still have. This is, Oulton Park at its chaotic finest. Some days at Oulton Park are dreadfully boring as a marshal. However, I can guarantee you that the fake marshals would have been very busy during that one. But yeah, much like last season's season opener at Anglesey Circuit, this is another day of absolute carnage. And now we have reverse grid. Aidan Larson will be starting in 10th place. He will be starting with 9 people ahead of him, who he is, for a few of them, quite a good chunk faster. This is going to be either a masterclass in overtaking or a demolition derby, and we're going to find out once that next race starts. So don't go anywhere.
I will say, you brought up demolition derbies. I had a little bit of red in the eyes, kind of flashed, like, oh my goodness, carnage. But no, it is going to be interesting as well, considering that not only do you have 9 drivers ahead of you if you're Aidan Larson, you have 9 drivers who, some of whom were battling with one another in the first race, and they may continue to battle in this next race. So not only is it individual cars you have to pass cars that are going on in conflict ahead of you, which is going to be even more difficult, because you either have to pull Lorenzo Ribeiro and wait it out until they imminently crash off the track together, or you have to join that and battle your way through. And it seems that might be the only 2 ways to go about it. Or you could just, God forbid, it's enough time that you have to wait there, but you won't have any opportunity to overtake both cars, or even 3 cars if they're involved in such a way. We did see that in the battles for 5th and 6th place, I reckon.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to see a charge from those backpack, that Aidan Larson and Lorenzo are definitely going to be thinking, right, we've got to get through this lot now. They might not even be aware of the carnage behind them because they were so far ahead. Lorenzo will be more aware than Aidan, but I think it just shows you quite how much fun this could be. And if you feel like joining us here in this series, we run F1, we run iRacing, we run casual events, and you can come and find us on Discord at BUSR. You can also find us on Grid Finder, that lovely little orange logo at the bottom of the screen. Just search us in there, sign up, come along. You do not have to be putting in mega quick laps. You can be at the back and still have fun. I know people who are towards the back end of the field. I shall leave them nameless, but they will know who they are. They love it. They come every week. They do multiple series. They do as many races as they can, and they're always at the back. And they love it, and they have so much fun, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. I did my first sim race just a few weeks ago, and I was very much near the back, and it was very much fun. So if you want to come and join us, we'd love to have you here. There's always space, whether your skill lies in driving, media content, you could join the broadcast team, come and join us on Discord and find us on Grid Finder. We'll be running this series for the next 7 weeks. We're traveling all over the digital world, to America, to Central Europe, to West Europe. We're traveling all the way over. Next weekend, we are going to Aussie's home country. We're off to Sonoma Raceway. So if you know that track more than Oulton, why not come and join us for Sonoma, another roller coaster of a circuit? I think I'm looking forward to that one.
Yep, and yes, we have a lovely community here. You do not even need to be a racer to join us and take part in the tomfoolery. I'm not a racer myself, but unfortunately, that is the one race I will be missing. There's a chance I could make it back. For context, my right arm is broken right now. It has been broken for about 5 to 6 weeks. I have an x-ray appointment at 1 p.m. in downtown Detroit. I hope I will be able to make it back in time. Chances are unlikely, so I might just be sitting it out regardless. So
that's gutting. Yeah. The one American track that I know of on the calendar. There might be another one.
Track.
But yeah, Sonoma Raceway, and we're going to have to miss Aussie. I'm sure someone else will come and join us, though. But if you want to come and join us on the broadcast team, just come and join the Discord. But anyway, I will stop plugging the BUSR before we lose all of our viewers as we look forward to race 2. It's the same style of race, only, like we've said, the top 10 is reversed. So expect maximum carnage. I'm still thinking we're going to see a run from Aiden Larson and Lorenzo, though. So I'm going to stick with Aiden. I think he's going to do the double.
Well, I think we're at least going to see another battle, maybe the battle that never was, between Aiden Larson and Lorenzo Gualtieri, you know, because they had that little contact in the beginning, so this could very well work out well, as it looks like we have Cassis in the pole position. Sitting behind is Mohammed, Maris Dallas, James White, Josh Hughes, Renzo Ribeiro, Thomas Hughes, Archie O'Leary, and then the aforementioned Lorenzo Gualtieri and Aiden Larson. And I will say before this race starts, whichever commentator is looking to replace me for Sonoma, you must use an American accent. This is non-negotiable. I've already talked it over with the race organizers. This is satire. We've got the green lights coming up. Oh no, the red lights. I'm colorblind, it appears.
Here we go for race 2 at Oulton Park for the BUSR Winter Series in Ginetta GT4s. We are lights out and off they roll. Kessers is right off at the front there with Mohammed side by side. Mohammed up the inside into turn 1. Easy move there, appearing for the Tesco car to take the lead. There was a spinner in the background. I have no idea who it was, but we're looking at the front of the field. There's cars all over the place. Oh, there's chaos, absolute carnage, multi-car pile-up into turn 1. So many cars are off there. You've got to be feeling bad for those cars at the back there. Some of them have got through, even more cars off. That's a car from the grass. Are they going to collect anybody on the exit? Yes, they are. More cars are off there. And huge crash into turn 1 and then into turn 2.
And all you can really think is, man, the scorebug is really having a seizure. There must be a lot of action going on, which there is. James White, who started off in the 4th position, is now in pole. An incredible comeback, making up perhaps the 4 positions he could have gotten in that one spring race. As we look at Aiden Larson, who has gone up from 10th to 5th as well. No sign of Lorenzo Gualtieri anywhere.
He was one of the cars that got caught out. He is right at the back there. If you look on the time screen now, he is in 18th place, just about to make it up to 17th. It has not been a good day for Lorenzo. He is having an absolute mare of a day. Now looking at this is a disaster for him. That first lap carnage is one of the reasons why reverse grid racing sucks if you're quite quick, because you can get caught up in this wreck, in the mess. Aiden Larson there now fighting over P5 with Maris Dallas. He has had a rocket ship start up to 4th place for the Australian now as we come down to the end of lap 1. That was a lot of carnage. Aiden Larson up a bunch of places. Josh Woolley's up to 12th from last place. He obviously started that after DNFing race 1. There's a little bit of a wiggle there from Archie O'Leary coming out the final corner and over the hill. They are nearly 3 wide down the start-finish straight here. Will it be coming out of turn 1? Archie O'Leary leading the pack in. Thomas Hughes and Maris Dallas, they're having a fight. Alex Hughes, getting past Maris Dallas and then running straight onto the grass. This is amazing racing, but definitely playing with fire here. Alex Hughes looking up the inside of Maris Dallas. This is not a conventional passing place, and that is why the outside line does work if you hold it.
Exactly. James White managing to set the fastest lap. I can only imagine. As Aiden Larson's in third place as well, the battle between James and Aiden for the win in this second race is going to be incredible, as it looks like Maris Dallas goes off track on the exit. Thankfully misses both Alex and Thomas Hughes, but now is falling down to 8th place. Quick time to get back on as we look at Archie O'Leary, who's behind Cassis. Aiden Larson still in third place, has to overtake Mohammed if he wants a shot at James White. Less than half a second separating those two. We look at Thomas Hughes and Alex Hughes going side by side over the hilltop into Hislops. It's going to be, oh, which Hughes is going to come out on top in this battle? It looks like Thomas for the time being, as we're taking a look at his Ginetta GT4. Oh my goodness gracious. Still battles going on. Aiden Larson, meanwhile, has overtaken Mohammed and is in second place. And I have no doubt in my mind that bloke is going to come towards James White with fire and fury. And we're going to see an incredible battle between these two for the win. Looking back at Doug Neon has gone off track. Oh goodness. Back in, going down into 12th place. James White, another personal best, 139, 130, the fastest lap of this race. Looking back at Cassis here going into the Old Hall corner. I saw a little bit of a skid there. You don't want to overdo it too much. You might end up slipping a bit. And as we're taking a look, they're going down the avenue into Cascades. Goodness gracious. It's still, and we still have, as I said last time, a quarter hour left of this race.
Yeah, this is now the drivers need to really be thinking about the long term. They've made all of their super aggressive moves, and they need to be settling back into a rhythm and just thinking, right, how are we going to do this cleverly? How are we going to avoid having an absolute disaster? We've already lost a couple of cars to these crashes out of this top group now, but also we've given a chance for some other cars to be up here. Cassis in 4th place is running a very good race. Archie O'Leary behind, Mohammed ahead. You've got they now need to be thinking about how they can defend, as Josh Hughes is here in 10th place in that red and white striped car. Series organizer Adam Bent goes off in front of them, spears back on track, luckily doesn't collect anybody coming out of Britain. That is a suboptimal line for Adam, who drops down to 13th place and recovers, luckily not collecting anybody. Alex Hughes had a spin at Knickerbrook. We missed it on the broadcast because of the poor camera angles as selected by the track, I suppose, rather than anyone on the broadcast team. But yeah, Lorenzo here, position 13. Not the optimal start now. He's making up ground up to 11th on our timing grid due to all of the other cars going off ahead. Renzo Ribeiro is the car in front, who we know is quick, but is probably not going to be Lorenzo quick. And that is a new further best for James White, a 1:38.7 as we come under the 5-minute mark of the race done. Not to go, done.
Yes, exactly. And the thing is as well, we see Aiden Larson as he overtakes James White. We might have ourselves a little battle here. Gualtieri may be making up positions, but Aiden Larson overtaking James White. He had set a new fastest lap, as you were talking about James White with a new PB, and he is gaining speed, getting as much as he can in these straightaways, getting into the corners. Oh my goodness gracious, you might have been right about Aiden Larson. Looking now, Archie O'Leary is behind Kessis going into the next turn in 5th place. Goodness gracious, I guess it wasn't a matter of if Aiden Larson would take back over in 1st place, but a matter of when, as James White is now 2.7 seconds behind. A little bit of shuffling around as Mohammed has dropped down 2 places into 5th, as Kessis is now in 3rd, followed by O'Leary, Thomas Hughes, Maris Dallas, Eric Anderson, Josh Hughes, Renzo Ribeiro to round out the top 10, as we are continuing to have a live look at Lorenzo Gualtieri, who is behind Renzo Ribeiro, trying to get into top 10, and he will, it looks like, and they both, oh goodness gracious, I thought they went off track for a second. But Lorenzo has overtaken Ribeiro into the top 10. Who knows, we might just see the comeback of the century from this man.
He is, well, he's got a lot of ground to make up, but he has still got 13 minutes to do it. Aiden Larson is pulling ahead. You have to suspect that given the gap he's already got on James White, that James White made an error, which is what allowed Aiden through so effortlessly. That 2.7 gap is reasonably substantial from our leader now. But Lorenzo is up into the top 10. There is points on the line for every single car that he can overtake, and if he wants to make a charge at this student class title, because he's got that red stripe at the bottom of his sun visor, that means he's in the student class. He is competing for student honours and student wins, but also he wants to win overall, and that is his target now, is to get up and get points from Josh Hughes up ahead in ninth. That gap is shrinking by the corner. We know this car is ballistically quick around this 2.7 mile circuit.
Yeah, and it's been absolutely, it's been such a good comeback so far. He was in 18th. He has made up 8 positions. Make that 9 positions as that's James White off the track there. James White has gone off, and now it is Kessis and Archie O'Leary to round out the podium behind Hayden Larson. Oh my goodness gracious, what happened there? What happened? I think at this point, Lorenzo might as well just go for second place and try and get that battle with Hayden Larson that we wanted to see in the first race, but unfortunately didn't happen. He's got a bit of ground to make up, currently behind Josh Hughes by about half a second, but as we're coming into a space with a couple of turns and straightaways, there is a chance an overtake could happen sooner than we think as they come around Druids into under the bridge.
Here we go. He's going to have a think about it into turn 1, isn't he? You can see it. The body language of the car is, I'm coming past you. There's a car on the gravel there. That was Eric Ericsson very on the grass there. Coming up Deer Leap. There's the move already. James White is disconnected from the server. That is his race over as Lorenzo sets a new fastest lap of the race and takes PA all at the same time. Lovely little 10 seconds there for him as he gets the overtake and gets the fastest lap. Coming up on halfway through the race, and he is in 8th place. Eric Anderson is ahead. Eric is not slow, but Lorenzo is not taking any prisoners today. That car is on a mission to at very least catch up to Archie O'Leary in 3rd place, but ideally you're looking at the front of the pack for this man.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like it's going to be, I think if he makes up another 10 seconds, he should be in fighting position to take down Archie O'Leary, if not Kessis, maybe even go for it all against Hayden Larson. But yeah, very unfortunate to see James White bow out so soon in this race. He was doing such a good job. He had pole position, you know, for a brief moment of time, especially in that very first turn. He took up 2 spots, as now we've got the battle here between Gualtieri and Anderson. Only a quarter of a second separating those two. Are we going to see yet another move from a very determined man in Lorenzo Gualtieri? He's already made up 10 positions. Now would be an opportune time to make up an 11th as they come around the turn. Almost went side by side, going under the bridge. And it looks like they'll be taking this battle side by side into Lodge Corner, maybe, and he's passed him into 7th place. Oh my gosh, Lorenzo, have yourself a race, my man. He is now in better position than he was to start this race. He started off in, or no, I'm thinking of another car. Or no, he was in 9th place to start. I digress. As he is trying to make up every last second into this straightaway, he's pulling away from Eric Anderson. I think that battle is over. It's now Muhammad next for 6th place. A man on a mission with just over 9 minutes left to go in this race. Archie O'Leary battling it out with Kessis in 2nd place for the 12 seconds that would have to be made up behind Hayden Larson as they are coming around turns 7, 8, and 9 into the hilltop.
Yeah, absolute chaos is allowing Lorenzo to do this at the start, but now it is all on pace as he is thinking about the cars up ahead. You can see Mohammed in that Tesco car, Maris Dallas in that black liveried vehicle. They're having a fight of their own behind Archie O'Leary, currently in podium position. This is a fight for 2nd place behind Kessis. That gap is under 0.3 of a second now, coming up around Water Tower, and then heavy on the brakes into Druids. Tap in, turn, Apex 1, hit Apex 2 for Archie O'Leary here behind Kessis. They're making a run now down towards Lodge Corner. The slipstream effect is going to help. Having a peek up the inside on the grass, making the move, squeezing from Kessis there. just manages to keep the place into Lodge Corner. That was a very defensive manoeuvre. This is going to be really helping Aidan Larson build a monster gap out front here. Across the start-finish straight though, Archie Leary appears to have the inside line. Yes, he does. Into the first corner, holds it, sticks it, through they go. Archie Leary now up into second place with a 14-second gap to Aidan Larson ahead. You feel like that's going to be a pretty safe gap for the next 8 minutes.
Meanwhile, Lorenzo Gualtieri battling again, this time with Mohammed for 6th place, separated by less than half a second. Is he going to make the move on this turn? He is... Oh, I don't know if that was contact around there. It didn't look like it. But now, side by side, going into the next portion of the track, yet another place made up by Lorenzo Gualtieri. He has 3 seconds behind Maris Dallas, who is at the back of a 3-way between them, Thomas Hughes and Kessis for 3rd place. Lorenzo Gualtieri, still a determined man on a mission to overtake all these positions, as a 3-way battle, if not a 4-way, with Archie O'Leary at the front of that pack. You might be thinking in the next minute, this man might have 2nd place.
That's definitely his target. 2nd place is what that car is aiming for. It is just taking positions left, right and centre. If you look at the little map, then you can see the gap that Aidan Larson has is pretty much out of his reach now. He is now aiming solely for that Liverpool car of Archie O'Leary there in 2nd place. Maris Dallas is up ahead with Kessis. There's a car on the inside there. That was Kessis off on the inside of Druids. That's another place for Lorenzo.
Oh my God, 13 places he's made up. He is coming back faster than the Cleveland Guardians did in the AL Central. All my MLB fans out there, you know what I'm talking about. As a Tigers fan, I am salty. As coming across the starting line, still 6 minutes and change, as Gualtieri catching up to Maris Dallas. Is this going to be yet another victim to add to the body count as they're coming around the next couple of turns into the chicane? And still a little bit of traffic around there as Archie O'Leary leading the pack sans Aidan Larson. It's going to be quite an eventful 6 minutes here. Creeping up in this chicane here. The conflict that we'll see between these drivers, no doubt in my mind, Lorenzo is going to take opportunities here. Coming around turns 7, 8, and 9 into the hilltop. Once again, going side by side with Maris Dallas, I think. And this is only a 1/10 of a second separating them. Gualtieri trying to speed up. He's got the outside line into this next turn here, going into his slops, and we've got an off track. It certainly wasn't Lorenzo, as he's made up another place into 4th. Next stop, Thomas Hughes, who is only a second ahead of Lorenzo.
This is a monumental run. This is the run of someone who, assuming they make enough of the rounds, is going to be fighting very firmly for that championship in 7 weeks' time. Aidan Larson's checked out. Archie O'Leary is now worried. Assuming they've looked at the timing sheet, the timing screen in car, they will now see that Thomas Hughes and Lorenzo are both behind them, and Lorenzo is on a mission, making up so many places I've lost count. They're now looking at Thomas Hughes to add another one with 14 places in probably about 14 minutes, let's be honest with ourselves here. And that includes a few gaps to make up.
Lorenzo is on the track and is rapidly approaching your location at this very moment in time.
Definitely. This is a man who understands how to make this car go very, very quickly around this slightly wonky square with a little thing coming off of the side of it. Under half a second now, the gap to Thomas Hughes coming around Shell Corner, hooking it in on that corner. It's very, very banked. It looks banked there. It's more banked in person, I can tell you that for a fact. As now we're coming down towards the Britain's chicane. Is Lorenzo going to make a move into Knickerbrook? He did it 1 lap ago on Maris Dallas. Is he going to do it again on Thomas Hughes? Here we go, over the hill now, that train of 3. There's a defensive manoeuvre looking from Thomas Hughes there, slightly to the inside of the optimal line, just to block off. Say to Lorenzo, not this time, sunshine. You're going to have to go around somewhere else, as he's coming up the hill, putting the power down. The double slipstream effect from Archie O'Leary in 2nd place. Just remember, this battle is letting Aidan Larson absolutely storm off to a 2nd race win.
Oh, just you wait, though. Gualtieri is a man who wants to be on the top of the submarine sandwich. He is still breathing on the neck of Thomas Hughes, as we've got a little bit of little bit going on here. I'm not sure whose car that is in front there. And we have collision here. And goodness gracious, what have we just witnessed? And Gualtieri gets out of it with minimal damage. He is still going. What the heck just happened here?
I believe that was a back marker spinning it out of Lodge and just doing it at the worst time possible. Lorenzo running very wide on the grass there. Maybe there is more, maybe his confidence is shot now. His momentum has been completely stalled out. Maris Dallas was the big, unfortunate, the big winner in that, is now up to 3rd place. Thomas Hughes up to 2nd place. Just a word, Archie O'Leary is down to 8th. That is a disaster for that car. Nothing that Archie could do there. The back marker just getting it slightly wrong and getting caught out. That is the problem when we have these tracks that are quite so difficult, is that it makes it hard for everyone to stay on the road, as we've seen, and occasionally that causes a problem for someone that it really shouldn't have done. Lorenzo now in 4th place, still in 4th place, but with a bit of a shift up around them. Thomas Hughes and Maris Dallas, the 2 cars ahead. 2 minutes to go. Lorenzo's going to be thinking, hey, I've seen this car before, I've passed this one before. Right, it's going to do it again now.
Deja vu. He has been in this place before, making up time, going into this next section here at Hislops. I'm sure Lorenzo's going to come out of this second iteration of the Battle a Better Man. No back markers in sight from the looks of it, but Gualtieri made up the gap once. He could certainly do it again as they're making their way past Knickerbrook into Clay Hill and Water Tower, into Druid's Corner. I can see just the red in that man's eyes. He is still making up time. That car is substantially faster than Maris Dallas is at this time, using the slipstream to his advantage. They're going to come around Lodge Corner into the start-finish track. What have we got? Slightly off there, but oh my goodness, they're still going at it, these two.
Yeah, we've got, well, 1 minute 15 to go. You've got to be thinking we're getting near last lap. Aidan Larson's so far ahead there that you might be able to sneak through on the time. And remember, this is a 20-minute plus 1 lap race. There's an extra lap to do for that car, which is not really relevant, but it is relevant for these two, as Lorenzo is now right behind Maris Dallas for this, at least the 2nd time this race, possibly even the 3rd time. Just going to make another move on that black car, White on the inside of the black car there. There he gets the move into Island Bend. That is a very, very, very fast corner and not a conventional overtaking place. Now got the outside for Shell. Will he hold it round there? Just turning it, hoping the car sticks. Got the switch back underneath Maris Dallas. There it is. That is the drive of a man who is going to win races before the end of the season. Coming through the British chicane now as 3rd place.
Oh my goodness gracious. And with that, Lorenzo Gualtieri has just tied the record from what I've seen of James White, who had 15 positions made up in a single race. We have now seen 15 places made up for Lorenzo Gualtieri. If he can somehow catch Thomas Hughes on this last lap, that will set a new personal best from what I have seen at the very least. He was at 18th place. He was down to his wit's end, and this absolute madman Lorenzo Gualtieri making up 15 positions in the course of 20 minutes. You can't write this stuff, folks.
This is truly an incredible drive. It's a bit too early to be calling it a championship winning drive because it's only race 2, but it certainly is a drive we'll look back on come season end and say, yeah, that was where a man maximised the potential of his Ginetta. Their back marker just ahead. That is, I really hope that isn't Thomas Hughes. Yeah, there's Thomas Hughes just going off screen in the white car. That yellow one is not relevant to this fight. Lorenzo sneaks past the back marker, pain-free. Coming up to Shell now. The leader has got 2 laps to go. Aidan Larson is checked out 20 plus seconds ahead. That's not a problem anymore. This is the fight we care about. It's that little 2.8 seconds on the timing chart from Lorenzo up to Thomas Hughes that is really what we're concerned with as they come through the chicane now. Lorenzo can see the car ahead. That is going to be a massive help, don't you think?
Oh my goodness. I think it's a massive hurdle to make up as time goes on, but from what we have seen from Lorenzo Gualtieri, you cannot stop this juggernaut of a racer. Little bit of a skid, I think, but back half of the lap Hughes is within sight. This is very well possible. They're going through Knickerbrook into Clay Hill and Water Tower. Are we going to see an overtake? It's looking less and less likely as time's going on, but Gualtieri is comfortably in podium position as they go under Warwick Bridge into Lodge Corner. Oh my goodness gracious. Just what a comeback. What an absolute comeback.
There's still battles going on. This is Thomas Hughes on Mohammed in that Tesco car. A little bit of a touch there. The supermarket being smacked off by the red and white car. Both of them staying on circuit now. This is Josh Hughes making a move around the outside of Old Hall Corner. That's never going to work, guys. Sorry about that. A little bit of contact. Oh, he's running it very wide with track limits. They are side by side down the avenue. Kink left for Dentons. Mohammed keeps it on the grass for Alex Hughes. Hope he doesn't collect it and it's off into the grass, but not quite the gravel. They're losing a place to Renzo Ribeiro, who is one of the biggest gainers from other people's crashes today, you have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Very opportunistic. Meanwhile, Gualtieri, he is back up. He is under a second behind Thomas Hughes. I thought the previous lap was the last one. No, he's got an opportunity to do something incredible here. He is behind by less than about half a second now. They're going into high slops again. I keep mispronouncing that, but that's not important here. Going into Knickerbrook, nearly side by side. Gualtieri wants second place. He finished in second in the last place. He gave himself a handicap as Aiden Larson, has won the race, but Gualtieri, no! He spun off again!
What is happening? Massive contact coming up the hill between those two cars for second and third place. That is a disaster there. I was about to say we need to give him driver of the day, but Aiden Larson's won that in all of that carnage. We'll just move on from that. Aiden Larson has cleared off out the front now. Second place is many years somewhere down the road as Thomas Hughes takes second place. One of the two cars in that massive contact there that took Lorenzo out of what would have been an incredible drive and was only so close. Just got a little bit over ambitious maybe. Don't know what happened. We didn't catch it because it was coming over the brow of the hill. But yeah, Thomas Hughes second. Maris Dallas somehow got a podium in all of that carnage. Mohammed fourth. Renzo Ribeiro fifth. Josh Hughes sixth. Lorenzo eventually would go on to finish the race in seventh by the looks of it. Cassers eighth. Archie O'Leary in ninth place. That was quite a race of ups and downs for Lorenzo.
Oh my gosh, I was going to say, Lorenzo at the very least has to finish after doing all of that. That was, holy Moses. I feel like, just give that man a podium position. Out of fourth one, put Lorenzo on it. At the very least, make him comeback player of the race.
Yeah, it is definitely. And I mean, he's still going to get my driver of the day vote. I mean, Aiden Larson won both races and he's not getting my driver of the day vote. That just shows how good Lorenzo's overtaking was. His luck was terrible. His on-track action was really quite good fun to watch. But yeah, Aiden Larson does the double in rounds 1 and 2 of the BUSR Winter Series on Assetto Corsa. Ginetta GT4 cars at Oulton Park now. We're seeing some donuts, some chaos. There he is in his gold livery, winning the race. The Australian man, I'm sure we'll get him in the interview room at some point soon. There he is, our double race winner for round 1, Aiden Larson.
Yep, well done for him from one Aussie to another. Oh goodness, it was quite a chaotic race, and you know it's chaotic because of the lack of time spent on the pole position. Comfortably, Aiden Larson just coasting to that double. Very well done. I mean, the qualifying back and forth with Lorenzo Gualtieri was very entertaining to see. But Aiden Larson definitely flexing his might and his skill to take that race. Well done for that man.
Definitely a major help for his championship. He is definitely going to be thinking, right, I've won 2 races now. Let's go and do it again next next Monday out at Sonoma. Same place, same time if you wish to join us. But yeah, we're going to have interviews starting pretty soon. We're going to be interviewing a variety of drivers from our classes. Class winners, of course, we'll get Aiden in here at some point soon. We'll probably get him in first. It feels appropriate. He was double race winner. He was always first. But yeah, so Aiden is joining us now. Hello, Aiden.
How we doing?
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
Yeah, decent, I'd say. You guys all right?
Yeah.
So were you aware of the chaos that was happening behind you as you ran off to 2 relatively simple race wins?
I'm assuming you're talking mostly about round 2 on the kind of start lap there.
No, there was chaos everywhere in all of the races.
Really?
You would, oh yes.
I definitely saw some bits and bobs, but I know in race 2 I saw quite a bit going behind me. I figured I had to avoid a little bit in front of me too.
You were very close to potentially being overtaken by probably one of the most determined men I think I have ever seen in Lorenzo Gualtieri. He was at 18th place at one point, got as high up as third near the end of the race. Unfortunately, massive contact prevented him from doing so. But yeah, no, excellent job in qualifying as well as this double. How did you adapt to starting the second race in 10th place? Like, was it any challenge there for you, or was it just going straight back to basics?
It was definitely challenging, to say the least. As you said, Lorenzo is an absolute monster, so he was kind of who I was targeting there. Especially with the race start, I was trying to make sure I got just the best launch possible. But outside of that, I mean, unfortunately, it is just lap 1. You kind of have to expect some kind of disasters to go on. So thankfully, kind of got to avoid most of it. And unfortunately, I think Lorenzo got caught up in that the kind of first corner. So I did drop him pretty quick. But yeah, mate, he made up places bloody fast. Went all the way back to P3. I mean, look, it's all well and good coming first, but I mean, I'm just driving there alone. I mean, he's battling all the way back to P3. I mean, that's a monster of a job.
Exactly.
Do you think this is going to be the start of a championship battle between the two of you? Are you expecting him to be, well, yourself and him to be at the front of Sonoma next week, or are you thinking, right, I need to practice more and get some time on him?
I'm expecting him to be trouble. It's not going to be an easy season, honestly. Assuming nothing out of our hands happens to us, yeah, we're going to be fighting all right. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
I don't really know what happened on the first race. I don't know if that was my fault or it was just a racing incident. But it was a bit of a shame to lose him there. But outside of that, round 2, I mean, I can tell you now, it's going to be a battle.
Yeah, exactly. I did see as well, there was a brief window of time where James White was in the lead. Little bit of a battle with him, I think there was, but then he had himself a DNF as well. Do you think that maybe James White might factor into any of these future races?
Yeah, absolutely. James is bloody quick. Only thing he needs is a setup. Because unfortunately, we're all kind of moaning a little bit. The cars do feel a bit funny around Oulton Park. I mean, I don't know if you guys have driven them yourselves, but especially in the braking zones, the ABS, whatever it is, with these cars or this track, it shakes your wheel heaps. And especially without a proper setup, I mean, James was suffering on that.
And you think you're going to have one for Sonoma that's a little bit more controllable? Or are we going to, because there was a lot of cars spinning in a lot of different places, so we're hoping that gets cleaned up. So are you expecting a new setup that's going to make it even quicker, or just more stable?
To be fair, I think I'm actually going to drop my setup for everyone, just because, I mean, I have the interest of fair racing. I mean, I want people to be up at the front with me. So yeah, I'm going to drop my setup, see what people reckon, and well, hopefully people can adapt it to what they need. I mean, at the end of the day, I've got lucky. I mean, as you would have seen on the timings, I got home from work to find someone had nearly gone a second faster than me. And I was like, hang on a minute, where the hell are you finding this time? But thankfully, a bit of tinkering later and a little bit less rear wing, somehow found it. And that was a complete miracle to me, so got quite lucky there. But yeah, outside of that, I think for my setup, I'm just going to use my setup as a base setup and just see how it reacts to the other tracks. See what happens.
Yeah,
Well,
we will see what happens.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you out next time. And yeah, our double race winner, Aidan Larson. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, congrats, man. Take it easy.
You too, guys. I'll see you later.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to bring in Thomas Hughes, our alumni class winner, second place.
I loved his humility as well, though. Like, he was, he just said he got lucky.
Yeah, and that is racing. And yeah, we hope to see both Aidan and Lorenzo back at the front next time out. But yeah, we've got one more interview now waiting, and it is alumni class winner Thomas Hughes. Hello there, sir.
Hi, you're right.
So yeah, how did you find that second race there? Lots and lots of carnage.
It was. I mean, I didn't expect to be anywhere near the front. I'll be perfectly honest. I think, especially after like how I did in qualifying, I was still a good second off like the front guys, and I was like, oh, and I know I'm not going to be in this. I'm going to be part of this mid pack. That's just going to be absolute chaos. And I can't. And well, it didn't disappoint really, did it? Certainly a lot of carnage that went on, but somehow managed to get my way through it and end out kind of pretty much on the near the podium in the first race and then podium second race.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, near the end, you and Lorenzo Gualtieri going at it a little bit there. Were you did you know how far back he was at one point in the race?
I was aware that he was like nowhere near the front, and I knew from the first race where he was catching me for P4 that like he had pace, and I was not going to be able to stop him getting past. So as soon as I saw his name come up, I was like, "Oh no!"
I'm going to tell you, he was at one point he was in 18th place.
Damn.
Yeah. So, so he did manage to stave him off. So, no, you said you weren't expecting to be near the front of the pack. I mean, do you think maybe you just got lucky, or maybe there was just you took some opportunities of some of the crashes?
So in the first race, I know full well there was I can't remember who was behind me, but there was a bit of a train that were about 2 or 3 seconds back. And I knew there were drivers like Assassin J, Josh Hughes, who was definitely quicker than me. And I knew that as soon as he'd get fresh air or clean air, he'd be able to catch up. But just got held up enough that like throughout the whole race, I could just maintain that gap. And then the second race as well, it was fairly similar. I feel like the whole time people were catching me. And it was just through either back markers with some crazy incidents or just kind of some last ditch defending essentially to try and keep the position. I managed to kind of stay where I was really. So I think a lot of luck was involved.
Yeah. So I do have to ask as well, because you are one of 3 racers in this group with the surname Hughes. Are you related to the other 2 at all?
Yeah. So rather confusingly, Alex Hughes is my twin brother. And then Josh Hughes is our cousin.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
So there's going to be tactics. There's going to be some kind of shenanigans going on between the 3 of us. There has been a bit in the preseason, which has always been fun.
So what are the odds that I'm not in fact talking with Tom, but I'm rather talking with Alex?
I mean, that's a very good question. Nobody will ever know. You'll never know.
Nobody will ever know. So you guys are identical then?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, makes things interesting. We're in our own group call doing it, and some fun tactics going on. Be it either to screw each other over or to try and help each other out.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you next time out at Sonoma.
Yeah, no worries. Look forward to it. Thanks for having me.
No problem, Tom. Congrats.
And that is the end of the broadcast. That's the end of round 1. That's round 1. Everything you just saw was round 1. We've still got 7 more rounds to go at 7 more wonderful tracks. And I will be there for pretty much all of them. And Ozzy, you're going to be joining me for at least some more of them, aren't you?
Yes, a decent amount. Barring any more calamities, next week should be the only one I will miss. But
there you go. So if you want to come and watch us two silly spoons talk about silly spoons driving Ginettas, then you'll be back at the same time, same place next week for round 2 at Sonoma Raceway. Thank you. I've been Dan.
I've been Ozzy.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
history where I could stand and say, Old British begins here, now.